In 200 AD, there lived a Greek king named Alistair who believed he was the ultimate power in the world, akin to a god. He thought he could control everything and everyone. However, as days passed, he heard stories about a man named Kalki, known as the Death Conqueror. Kalki had escaped many perilous situations, inspiring the people and making them believe that he was blessed by the gods. King Alistair, consumed by jealousy and anger, ordered his troops to bring Kalki to the palace. When Kalki was brought before him, the king saw an innocent-looking man. King Alistair asked his ministers if he could sentence Kalki to death. The ministers reminded him that Kalki had committed no crime. Determined to prove his superiority, the king devised a plan. He announced that Kalki would undergo 5 tests. If Kalki passed them, he would become the head of the ministry and sit beside the king. Kalki accepted, as it was the king's command. First test, the lion's cage. The king ordered his troops to place Kalki in a cage with a lion for an hour, believing the lion would surely kill him. To everyone's astonishment, the lion did not harm Kalki. He sat calmly inside the cage, and the lion didn't even turn towards him. When Kalki was brought back to the king, Alistair was surprised but not deterred. Second test, the tallest mountain peak. Next, the king commanded his troops to throw Kalki from the tallest mountain peak. Kalki was thrown off the peak, but his life was miraculously saved when he got stuck between the branches of a tree. Once again, Kalki was brought back to the king unharmed. Third test, the drunken horse. The king then ordered Kalki to ride a horse through a deep forest. Before Kalki mounted the horse, the troops gave the horse liquor and set its tail on fire. However, the horse, being overly drunk, could not move more than 100 meters, allowing Kalki to escape unharmed. Fourth test, the fiery maze. For the fourth test, King Alistair devised a deadly maze filled with traps and blazing fires. Kalki was to navigate through it without getting harmed. As Kalki entered the maze, he used his resourcefulness and keen senses to avoid the traps and flames, emerging unscathed on the other side. Fifth test, the poisonous serpents. For the final test, the king ordered Kalki to spend a night in a pit filled with poisonous serpents. The serpents, however, did not bite Kalki. He stayed calm and undisturbed throughout the night. By morning, he was still alive and well. Impressed and puzzled by Kalki's survival, King Alistair appointed him as the head of the ministry. The king later investigated the reasons behind Kalki's escapes and learned the following truths. The lion's caretaker had fed it fully before Kalki was placed in the cage, so the lion had no desire to hunt. Kalki was saved by the branches of the tree he fell into. The horse was so drunk that it couldn't move far enough to cause Kalki any harm. Kalki's keen senses and intelligence helped him avoid the traps and fires. The serpents, sensing no threat from Kalki, did not attack him. King Alistair realized that his power had limits and that fate and divine will were beyond his control. This revelation transformed him into a wise and benevolent ruler who cared for his people with the guidance of Kalki. Together, they led the kingdom into a prosperous and harmonious era.